Welcome into this post-trade deadline edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. With the trade deadline in the books, we now shift our attention over to potential NFL free agent targets for your Kansas City Chiefs. I got 5 players at 5 different positions that could end up in Kansas City in the coming weeks ahead. We'll discuss who those players are and what their potential roles could be coming up on today's program in just a matter of moments. Before we do, folks, I want to make sure you subscribe to the Kansas City Chiefs Report. We are closing in on 61,000 subscribers on the channel, just about 40 away from reaching that next milestone. For the latest happenings on your Kansas City Chiefs all season long, with our daily news and rumors, live shows, watch parties on game days, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more, you got to be subscribed to the Chiefs Report. Stay up to date with the latest happenings right here on the channel. We got you covered. We're going to be live coming up on Sunday for Chiefs and Broncos. We'll see you then right here on the channel. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our first name on the trade targets, the free agent targets list, rather. And that is David Bakhtiari, formerly of the Green Bay Packers, who is still looking for a new home in 2024. He has given no indications of any plans to try to retire by any stretch of the imagination, and just looking for a new home. And if you go back to the offseason, we talked about the idea of bringing Bakhtiari into Kansas City, and there was a quote from him that he said that was pretty noteworthy from the Chiefs' vantage point. He made it known that he wanted to play for a contending team and play with an elite quarterback. And when he said those words of looking at teams that needed offensive line help, that were contending teams and had elite quarterback play, about everybody turned their attention to, he's talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, isn't he? So it's no secret that Bakhtiari would like to be a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now it's just a matter of, can the Chiefs make it happen? And I'll say this. There has been, and rightfully so, a big concern with Bakhtiari when it comes to his injury history, that he has had problems staying healthy in recent years. But now as we shift gears to the second half of 2024, what you're asking for is, Bakhtiari, I don't need you to play 17 games. I need you to play maybe 8 or 9, something like that, and then be available for the postseason. And you look at where the Chiefs are at with this left tackle position right now, with Kingsley wasn't so good to start the season, and then Wanya Morris hasn't been much better either. Bakhtiari could be a potential pleasant upgrade, and you could get him at a discount at this late in the juncture to say, hey, you want to be along for the ride and go get a ring and play half a season? That might work out for all parties involved. The resume for Bakhtiari is pretty fantastic. 2-time first-team All-Pro, 2018 and 2020. A 3-time second-team All-Pro in 2016, 2017, and 2019. A 3-time Pro Bowler, 2016, 2019, and 2020. He spent his entire career with the Green Bay Packers. He's been in the Midwest for a long time. I think it'd be a great fit for Kansas City if they could make it happen. Let's ask you now, your chance to make the call here on the Chiefs Report. Should the Chiefs trade? Should they sign for David Bakhtiari? You got 2 options here. Type Y for yes, in for no. Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Before we go any further in today's show, let's tell you about today's sponsor. That is Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time has got you covered, folks. And with Game Time, it's real simple. You choose the event you want to go to, like, let's say, a Kansas City Chiefs game, for that matter. And then you select your seat with the seat views. You get the visual, see what that seat is like. And then you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. It's fast, simple, and easy. And we got a great deal that we're offering, folks, on Game Time. If you use it for the very first time, if you're a first-time user, we will give you $20 off your first purchase when you use the promo code ChatSports. That's promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. Check them out. You'll be glad you did. Next up, let's talk about a guy that not too long ago was traded for a second-round pick. And the team that traded him for a second-round pick certainly regretted it. But if the Chiefs were to sign this cat, Chase Claypool, I don't think there's a whole lot of risk, a whole lot of regret involved in this potential scenario here. Chase Claypool began his career with the Pittsburgh Steelers and came out of the gates looking pretty good his rookie season, as he was named to the All-Rookie team by the Pro Football Writers Association back in 2020, and then bounced around, went to the Bears, was traded there for a second-round pick, struggled there, went to the Dolphins, and never really found his footing. Had a shot to make the Bills roster, and ultimately that did not work out. But you look at the wide receiver position for Kansas City, and yes, things are getting better. It's trending upward. With the addition of DeAndre Hopkins, that was a big deal. Travis Kelce at the tight end spot is really coming into his own. It looks like the Travis Kelce we all know and love. That's all fine and positive here. But even with that said, Juju a little banged up. You're not getting what you're looking for from Sky Moore and McCole Hardman and those guys. I think at the very least, why not call up Chase Claypool, put him on the practice squad, see what he's got, and then potentially go from there if he can work his way onto the roster. And based on the bad luck, knock on wood, the Chiefs have had with the injuries at the wide receiver position, you very well may be promoting him from the practice squad sooner than later just based on that alone. So Chase Claypool, is he the same player that he once was as a rookie, which was his best season by far back in 2020 with 9 touchdowns and 873 yards off 62 catches? He hasn't looked that player since. But what do the Chiefs do so well compared to everybody else? Well, the Chiefs have such a great history with making nothing into something. And we've seen it this year with guys like Kareem Hunt and Juju and others who were left for dead and came out and looked very good. So I think Chase Claypool, why not? It's worth a shot, I think, at this point in time. It won't cost you hardly much at all. Next on our list, let's turn our attention to the defense and the corner position. A future Hall of Famer in Patrick Peterson is next on our list. And, you know, you look at Patrick Peterson, here's a guy that has had a fantastic career. He's a future first ballot Hall of Famer, 8-time Pro Bowler, NFL 2010s All-Decade Team, 3-time first-team All-Pro. I mean, he's been nothing short of spectacular over the years. Began his career with the Cardinals, had a stint with the Vikings, most recently with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you're not going to use him in special teams. He's not going to be a return specialist like, you know, he was used a lot early on in his career. You're not going to need that for him. But you are a little short-handed at the corner position with the injury to Jalen Watson that's going to sideline him for the year. You are looking for options for guys that can come in and play right away, that have been there, done that. And I think this works for Kansas City of their lack of cap space. You're not looking to have Patrick Peterson around for a long time. You're just looking for a temporary solution. And I think Patrick Peterson could be a short-term option to help out this Chiefs team for this circumstance they're in. I wouldn't mind if they made that call. Now, let me ask you, between Patrick Peterson and Chase Claypool, if you had to choose between one of those two, who would you rather sign? What's a better need right now? Is it the corner spot or is it the wide receiver spot? Type C for Chase Claypool. Type P for Patrick Peterson. Well, in the comment section, let us know what you think. Up next, let's talk about Micah Hyde. And Micah Hyde, back in the offseason, he said that it was going to be one of two things for him. Either he was going to return to the Buffalo Bills or he was going to retire. And the Bills opted not to bring him back, and he remains unemployed at this point in time. Well, Micah Hyde, I understand the loyalties to the Buffalo Bills, and honestly, I respect the fact that he's loyal to the Buffalo Bills. It says a lot about his character. But Micah Hyde, let me tell you something. Let me look right into that camera right there, folks. Micah Hyde in Kansas City. Wouldn't it just feel fantastic, Micah Hyde, if you could get a Super Bowl ring? And it's not coming from Buffalo. I can tell you that right now. That's not going to be the answer. You might as well come to the dark side and join the Kansas City Chiefs, beat your former team in the playoffs again, and go get another Super Bowl ring. And go get that Super Bowl ring you're looking for and be a part of another run for Kansas City here. Micah Hyde, I'll say this. One thing that's different about him compared to some of the other free agents that are available right now, I think he's still got something left in the tank. I think he's shown that he can still play at a relatively high level. Two-time second-team All-Pro as recently as 2021, a Pro Bowler back in 2017, and you look at the statistics of what he did last year. Had 2 interceptions, 7 pass breakups, played in 14 games. I was a little surprised the Bills did not carve out a role to bring him back in some way, shape, or form. I would like it, honestly, to have Micah Hyde here, give you some flexibility at the safety position potentially. I wouldn't hate it at all if they decide to go this route and go with Micah Hyde. Last on our list of potential free agent targets for the Chiefs after the trade deadline, let's go defensive line now. We talked on the show yesterday about the potential need there at the defensive line. And another guy that I'm interested in that I'm also surprised does not have a job right now is Lawrence Guy. He spent the best portions of his career with the New England Patriots from 2017 to 2023. Won a Super Bowl with them, was named to the Patriots All-Decade Team, was most recently with the Cincinnati Bengals. He's played with the Ravens, the Chargers, the Colts, the Packers, just to name a few. But you go back to last season, that New England Patriots defense was better than I think most people realize. And he played in all 17 games. An older guy that's reliable, that can stay healthy. You don't talk about that very often. That's a very good sign for him. And he didn't miss a ton of games throughout his career, consistently playing in 16, 14, 17, 14, 17 games. All reliable, as I like to call him. Last year, 17 games played, 12 starts, 38 tackles, 1 TFL, had a pass breakup, and another piece to add to the rotation, just give you a little extra, as my pastor would like to say, just a little extra there. I think this could be worthwhile for Kansas City just to add to that and give them some strength in numbers there when it comes to that defensive line. So let's ask you real quick before we go, who's a player the Chiefs should sign in free agency? All these guys that we've talked about today, folks, well within the structure of the Chiefs and their lack thereof with salary cap space, just around $3 million as of this morning from the folks at overthecap.com. So they could sign any of these guys for the vet minimum potentially if they need to. What do you guys think? Who's somebody they should sign? Let us know. For continuing Kansas City Chiefs coverage, subscribe now to the Chiefs Report. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.